I think we could all add on some more things to make this existence more meaningful and pleasurable. You know, people have to make the decision to choose either their desires or their needs. What's more important? You know, of course, attaining the desires is more comfortable and pleasurable, but it's not gonna...
It's inspiring. It's not just comfortable. It's fucking inspiring, you douche.
Well, the point is you gotta motivate people, so you gotta make it their need. It's not that, you know what I mean? Not that they're gonna be making a choice. You're gonna have to...
I totally get you!
Yeah, well, whatever.
See, James, those stupid little girls are more inspiring than you are.
The way, James, change the tone of your voice.
Just saying.
You know, you make me want to kill myself just listening to you.
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
inspiration.
that's what I was about to comment. I mean, you know, what you say is kind of okay and maybe could be interesting, but the way you say it, you're as passionate as a dead fucking corpse. Seriously.
It's cultish. You seem like you're in a cult.
I'm not saying things to be entertaining, I'm saying them because they're required to be said, and I feel like nobody else will say them other than me, so I have to take the initiative.
It's not a legitimate argument. You still have to be pragmatic. And the pragmatic requirement is you're talking to human beings. You're not talking to wildebeests. So you have to play by the rules. And the rule is that human beings sort of have to be seduced into it. You have to slowly insert your finger in their anus. You can't just sit there and shove it up there and say, accept this, you know.
Gary,
no,
his analogy.
You're going to have to, yeah, no, you're going to have to work it a little.
Alright, here's the thing. If you're gonna act like you don't give a fuck about what you're saying, how do you expect anyone else to do so?
I'm not speaking about this stuff as if I don't care about it. Why would I even bother talking about it if I didn't care about it? It makes no sense.
Again,
I think I know what it is.
Sound like you do. Sound like you're just reading something to get over.
It's just a pragmatic argument, okay? It's not about whether or not you're right to think that this shouldn't matter. The point is, it does matter. I have to accept that every day. You're going to have to accept that. That's just the rules of the game. All right? You fail until you do what you have to do, not what you want to do.
Yeah, like Gary, you need to start using your goddamn Twitter.
Yeah, like Gary.
You need to start
I agree.
I thought about it. I actually thought of it. I'm going to make my own Twitter. I'm going to make my own Twitter, okay? I'm going to make my own Twitter. I'm going to have like a password thing, and each one of you, people who want to just sign up, they just send me an email, and then they'll have a special code, and they'll be able to get into the thing, and then we'll be able to do our own little special little Twitter, our own little private Twitter.
But until then, you should use the Twitter that already exists. We're waiting to follow you, Gary.
And I would replace until then with instead of that.
Ouch.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but okily doke.
Hey James, I have a quick question. In your quest for saving the world, what do you do when you're not on Stickam?
I spend a lot of time on the internet, researching things. I also have 2 part-time jobs.
Lamenting, and then he laments. He goes over to people's houses, and when they have too many people at their parties, they say, "Hey, call up James, okay? Call up James. He'll get rid of the people." And yeah, he gets you know, I have the people to leave. You know, I have 2 jobs. I work at the paper bag factory, and then on Thursdays I work at the. We have to think of something worse than making paper bags. I don't know what, plastic bricks. I don't know.
Let me tell you what is the worst job ever. Bandit. I don't understand how can this guy start talking always at the same time as me. It's I don't know.
All right, Karina first.
Okay, so I was at the vet and I was with this friend of mine because his dog was getting aggressive because, well, he couldn't get, you know, a bitch of the same breed to mate with, to get them to mate, so the dog was kind of freaking out. And the vet said that there was a girl there and said, oh, she could milk him, you know, if you want. I mean, basically, that girl's job was to jerk off the dog. I mean, how suckier can a job get? Like, seriously, that's so messed up.
Awesome. I saw the job. I saw it. There's guys who drive in little cars, okay, and the bull mounts the car. You know, and it's, you know, and it's fucking the guys. He's sitting there in the car, and he's got to put this big rubbery thing, and oh, I mean, that's the job right there. That's the fucking job.
Apply now.
Well, this isn't as interesting, but I was actually reading...
Sorry if this is too much for you, James.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that I was actually speaking first. Anyway, finally... yeah, I was actually reading this thing about reproduction, you know, as far as, you know, Darwinism and reproduction. And one of the things I always had a, you know, a curiosity about is why weren't we, you know, asexual instead of being, you know, bisexual, you know, having sex with other species. It actually makes like a really good point about, you know, organic diversity, whether, you know, there would be that many different type of mutations and whatnot as far as, you know, being advantageous for a species to, you know, keep going on. I don't know if that's interesting right now because you guys are talking about like, you know, other different shit. I just thought it was an interesting thing.
Well, that's sort of like grammar school biology, all right? But I mean, yeah, you can add context to it and say something like, yeah, the whole evolution thing is built out of errors. So the more errors you make, the more conducive it is to the possibility of something productive happening. So it's like you have to roll the dice for you to be a player in the game sort of thing. And so anything that makes more dice roll is going to be advantageous as long as it doesn't waste too much resource. So any organism that has any kind of complexity in their DNA structure, it's going to be advantageous for them to do sexual reproduction because it just doubles the error rate. You know.
The
thing is what if we were like fish or something, though? You know, what if sex was this thing you have one time in your life before you die, you know, and all you do is jerk off over an egg? You know, what if it was that dismal? I mean, holy fucking shit! Oh man, you reach like your 18th birthday, you go find an egg, you masturbate, and then you die. I mean, then people would know life is a joke, right? They would really get it then.
Out of all things, an egg.
I think this sex talk is too much for James.
You talk about overly carbonated soda, it probably puts James in the critical list. Those, you know, a lot of bubbles that soda. It's very active, it's very hyper soda, it's a little too hyper.
So many tissues. Use your hand or your mouth.
Oh, whatever, that was just totally uselessly disgusting, but whatever. But there is, so, yeah, the whole sex
uselessly
thing is really
disgusting, that's good terminology there.
Yeah, well, whatever. You know, there's the whole sex thing. The interesting thing is that whole sperm egg thing, because that really is really weird that we create all these little organisms, you know, and they're all little single cell organisms. It's that they have no DNA identity. I mean, all they are is carriers, and so they're not even technically a life form because they don't get to reproduce. You know, I mean, it's just such a weird concept. It's like, what if they evolved